Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So really quick, I'm not done with YouTube. I know there's a lot of questions going on out there. I just had a really big move. I had to move from Europe back to the United States. So number one, right? Number two, I apologize. It's really late at night and the room is pretty barren because I'm still putting stuff in it. So you might see like a computer and so on and so forth as we continue on. Hopefully the quality of the camera and audio has improved. But with that being said, let's just go ahead and jump into it. This is sort of like a test trial for me. I hope it's not too much of a bother for you guys. And I hope it takes some of you guys by surprise. Anyway, I believe we left off with ReZero episode 8. I was actually looking through my notes before I jump into it. Some of the previous things, and I just wonder, I'm really interested to see where this season will go, because I heard that there's a new season that came out. So yeah, let's go ahead and just jump into it. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, yeah, it confirms the theory that I had previously. Oh. All right, pause. So, yeah, for those of you that don't know, I tend to pause and I tend to analyze what is being said. So, welcome to the channel. It's not just a straight up reaction. I don't really do that stuff. Anyway, it's interesting that she brought up that, he sort of likes being abused and whatnot. And I don't think it's so much he likes being abused. It's just that that's sort of the cycle that he's fallen into. And in a weird way, he wears his heart in his sleeve, like I stated previously. It's just interesting to me that, like, both the sisters, like, dichotomy, like, their difference in the way that they approach him, and the way that he quickly makes that jump, like, hey, you know what, it's them, they're good, everything's fine. Anyway, let's go ahead and just continue. Just a quick thought of mine. Oh. So as the intro is playing, like, on my notes, I had written something about Emilia, and I kind of want you guys to go ahead and just let me know, hey, you're totally wrong, or you know what, you might be onto something. It might be a spoiler territory, so try not to dive too into it. But Emilia specifically, every time that Subaru goes into one of his like crazy, like, oh, I love you, I'm doing all of this for you, which is very narcissistic and very prideful, very selfish. I don't know how else to put it. Where essentially, right now what he's doing is an essential form of deflection, right? And yes, I'm talking throughout the intro just to make time for it. Where he shifts the blame from whatever he's happening because he can't correct it, because he has no direct means of controlling his future or his current destiny, I guess, into, hey, I really, really like you. I've liked you since the first time I laid my eyes on you. And because of that, you're everything. But the way that she just shuts it down, for me, right? And if I've ever had you as a client, don't worry. I usually never talk about you directly or any of that. It's usually like people that I've had in counseling or worked with like way in the past. But anyway, with that being said, this individual, right, she puts up her walls and she pushes people back. For me, that's like trauma from the past of getting too close to someone, forgetting something, could be amnesia, could be extreme trauma. Oh, we're back. Sorry, guys. My thing is, if he comes back working this hard, and I don't know why he decided to go for the servant, maybe it's to gain the trust of the maids, wouldn't it come off really suspicious? Sorry, just my thoughts. So, we don't really get to explore the backstory of others, but Puck is really good at answering a lot of things. My overall question, and if you guys want to answer it, as long as it's not like spoiler territory, if it's going to get there in the storyline, please let me get there. But how did Emilia form her pact with Puck? And why do they have this relationship between one another? I know I've asked that previously in some of my other videos where I've questioned it, but go ahead and let me know. If it's spoilers, just go ahead and put like spoilers in the comment and I'll know to just like go ahead and keep watching. In a weird way, I'm just gonna let it play as I talk. I'll cut it out or whatever, but in a weird way, him having defensive magic is very suited to his whole recycling or reviving thing. Like being able to blind, obstruct, move. Even Shamak right now, what they showed, like the gas bomb or whatever that is. Like, think about it. In all the situations that he's been in, if he's had these defensive maneuvers, he might have been able to get out of it. Great point that she brought on. A lot of times, and I'll get into two big points here, which is essentially the point of saying thank you and actually being nice to those individuals when something happens. It's okay to own up and to your mistakes if something big happens or whatever that may be. But, always thank people. It's very rare, and I'm noticing to have like a bad hair strand or whatever. It's very rare, and it's always nice to hear thank you from someone that you genuinely care about. Over sorry. Usually when people get into this sorry mentality, it does kind of drag you down a little bit. With Emilia specifically, something that interests me is essentially the way that she approaches this, in a weird way. And again, you guys can be like, you're totally wrong, dude. Like, I feel like she's trying so hard to help this individual out, to help herself in the process. Not consciously, but like saving a life. I don't know how to put it. Maybe you guys in the comments will understand me, but essentially, like, it's sort of like a give and take, like equivalent exchange type of thing, where like she's trying to save herself by saving this individual, but at the same time, she doesn't want this individual to try so hard for her or bust his butt. But if you are dealing with like, and I know this is gonna be like a wild turn, but it's a really, really good turn. If you are dealing with, depression, anxiety, whatever that may be, and for some reason you just really can't see a therapist, or, maybe too expensive, or for some reason you like, you can't have access, or, just whatever life it may be, try and take it slow. Simple steps mean a lot of things. Getting out of bed, taking a shower, whatever that may be. If no one's told you today, I'm proud of you, and I'm glad that you've actually managed to do it. Even if it's just watching this reaction video and analysis, or, watching anime. Good for you. You've done something. And it's a hard battle to get out of that hole. And, it's not a lot of people will talk about it openly, but honestly, good for you for taking those first couple of steps, and you're welcome to the community. Anyway, let's go ahead and just keep going. he's so creepy. Why does he have to be so creepy? True. So I've mentioned it, like in all my previous reaction videos, if you guys have been here for that, I think that he's so creepy. I think that he's not a good guy. The way that he divulges information, manipulates people to get what he wants in terms of like, I admit, hmm, wait, what? Oh, smart. Very smart. Hmm. Okay, paused again. So that little thing that she just did there, when she divulged that information, the phrasing of it, the timing of it, when someone does that, especially, at least with people that, again, through a counseling lens, right? When someone does that, it's usually to try and get a reaction out of you, right? So for me, one thing that was clear was sort of her glance at him when she was going through legend says, legend says, legend says, and, ending with like a silver-haired elf, right? So I wonder if that like big impact point that she was trying to go ahead and hit on him with, if there was a specific reaction of something that she wanted him to go ahead and say, if it was a test, whatever that could be, right? Speaking of legends, it's always interesting, but narratives get twisted, right? So as bad as everything might be presented to be, there may be some light in it. There may be some twist in it that hasn't fully been procured, even with like breakup stories. Easy, right? We always write out a narrative to try and put the other person, if you're in a toxic relationship, it tends to happen where you put the other person in a negative light, right? But that's just your narrative. That's not really the truth. Of course, they have their story, their narrative, and the truth is always somewhere in between. People are people, and people will spread false words or positive or whatever that may be about you. But the truth is completely different than any of that. It may even be both of them. Who knows? You might be completely good and completely bad. Who knows? That's just the way life is. But this whole concept of legends for me is interesting because legends are always misconstrued and they've been through history. So I just wonder if this is another example of like legends being misconstrued, and also the fact that she brought up that like, oh, sorry, my face does that when I'm like really processing. She brought up the concept of witches, right? And then she says, oh, you must be referring to that one. Was she hoping that like he was talking about other witches instead of like that specific one? Because like, sorry, thoughts everywhere. I'll just leave that be. I don't know, guys. Let me know if whatever you guys think. We'll go ahead and keep going. Radio statics. Oh no. If someone pushes themselves like this, notice that it's a quick sign for someone overdoing it. I wonder if that's what's going to happen. Thank you, Puck. Yeah, why would she look happy? Like, you've clearly noticed it. He's pushing himself. You know, when a person pushes themselves, and I'll continue talking while this is going on, they'll make mistakes. They'll make common mistakes like you just did dropping the vase. They might be throwing up, sickness, tiredness, and overall, you just forget, like, you tend to be very forgetful, disassociate, so on and so forth. That's sickening. If you ever see a friend doing it, call them out on it. You know, sometimes the best thing you can say is like, hey, I'm here for you if you really want to talk about something, or just be like, hey, you know what? You're overdoing it a little. What's going on? I'm like, I swear, guys. You're gonna get sick. Wow. Called it. No, but that's rough, guys. It really is. At that point, yeah. A lot of people tend to break when you're allowed to go ahead and be in this position. Sometimes silence and just being there for a person goes a long way, and I think that this is probably going to be one of those moments. Yeah, a breakthrough moment. I hate to talk over some of the parts, but just so that it doesn't get taken down, I kind of have to give an analysis on it as it's happening. But for me, wow, that I'm even getting emotional. That's if you guys, you know, really empathize with people or like have a connection just with general people talking or being able to like see stories and just get really, really emotional really quickly. You know, that's sort of one of the hard parts about being a therapist is the fact that you always have to empathize with people. But for him, you know, going through that cycle over and over and over again, going through all this and can't tell anyone. So you already have that anxiety, depression, you know, trauma, just general trauma that is there. He's an odd person that sees like an opportunity, right? And instead of thinking like, let's do plan A, B will get me to C, C will take me to D, D will take me to whatever, right? He's just like, he sees an opportunity, he takes it, you know? It's rough, and it's gonna get him, I think it's probably gonna like fuck him up, if I'm honest with you guys, along the way. But so far, what a story of like character progression and like how fucked up a superpower like this could be. I am skipping because I don't want to see any, what do you call that? I don't know how to put it, after credit scene, so I just stopped it immediately. Anyway, with that being said, just kind of want to touch base with you guys. Feel free to leave a comment right now. I am recording on my iPhone, and as I said, I'm getting, because this is my own personal little office here, and I'm going to be painting it. There's going to be like, by the time this video's up, this will probably already be painted. I'm getting a computer with like a 3080, I believe. So everything will slowly and surely start to get upgraded. I will continue with ReZero, and I promise that I'll go ahead and finish it. And by finish it, I mean all of it, not just season 1. Because I know that there's like 2 more seasons. Correct me if I'm wrong. Just let me know in the comments. But aside from that, leave another anime, leave something down below. And I'm sorry if I haven't gotten back to yours, or just make sure you guys drop it down in this video. That way I can go ahead and make a new list and go from there. Thank you guys so much. If you guys are having a bad day, practice some self-care. Know that I love you guys. And yeah, no, welcome back, I guess, to me. And, I hope you guys are going to enjoy this. All right, thanks, guys. Bye.